Hi there.
Hola.
Hi, everybody.
Donkey shit.
Good shit. Happy 420 for those of you partaking.
Yep.
As my brother told me, he goes, tell people they should take advantage of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's 420 on 2020.
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt.
No doubt.
Okay. Hey, guess what? Guess what, guys?
What?
My phone just told me we're on.
Ooh, I know. My email just popped up and said, live on your channel right now.
I know. I've been playing the episodes on my phone, but I moved over here. I've never checked it on the phone while we're on.
Oh, yeah, you can do that. You could do the comments on the phone.
Can you? Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Well, I can see them here, too, if they would pop up.
Well, yeah, but then it blocks your
come in first.
Yeah, nobody's there now.
Well, I'm pretty sure Gary's going to pop up in a second.
So should we wait? Should we wait a minute?
Yeah.
Let's just be like, hey, y'all, guess what we're doing today? We're going crazy. We're entering the asylum.
We're reading comic books today. This starts the new series, part of my new series that now is on hold because all comic books are on hold. I'm pissed.
Yep.
Also looking forward to.
You finally got one?
Huh?
Finally got one?
Got one what?
A comic.
I got like 100 of them. We get like 100 every month.
No. I mean, because I know you were saying like they can't.
No, this is the last month. This was March. I'm reading them now. Yeah, there's
now
been
everything's on hold, right?
They don't expect it till June at the earliest for them to come back. So it's gonna be 2 months of backlog.
Hey, BRT's here.
B's in the house.
Hey, B.
All righty.
Welcome.
All right. We are now entering the asylum. Just so we can talk about.
Well, we're not entering the asylum yet. We're at a flashback, and here's Johnny.
And everybody, I want to say, okay, so we start with someone walking into a psychiatrist's office, which looks very much like the office in the murder house, but it's not. It kind of looks like it. But I think they were just going for an Easter egg thing there.
Yeah.
But I just want to point out to everyone that the actress who plays Dr. Gardner, who is the psychiatrist he sees, is Brooke Smith, who has a very large, talented film career.
Yes.
But she is widely known as being the lady in the well in The Silence of the Lamb, the one who puts the lotion on its skin.
Yes.
She puts the lotion on the skin. Yes.
We were just talking about that during the call.
The hose again.
I love The Silence of the Lamb.
I thought that was cool, so I wanted to make sure to point that out to everybody because she's not there very long.
I heard a report that they're going to do The Silence of the Lamb, but from the Hannibal show. It's coming back. Yeah, I'm so happy. Yeah, that show is so brilliant. You guys watch the show?
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
I gotta go back and watch it again. But yeah. It's actually really good.
Well, I'll have to check it out sometime. But so we open with someone we know is Dylan McDermott, the actor, but we're not sure yet exactly who he is.
Yep.
Right.
We won't know for a while, I think.
Well, no. I mean his true who he is.
Yeah,
he hasn't revealed that yet. We just think we're at a current timeline with a crazy psychopath.
Yeah, because she's in.
So now then he tells her about his dark secrets and who he is, and he'll never live up. And I'll let you guys talk about that. But I want to point out, don't you guys think that the reveal was a little bit too underdone and too quick? Like the way they revealed Bloody Face and everything else and all the other stuff throughout the season, the whole, Johnny Morgan reveal was kind of right when he says it. I'm like, oh, I wish he wouldn't have said it yet.
I think what they're going for is not. What's up? You got new people.
Hi, beautiful. That's my daughter.
Hi, you. I think what they're going for was instead of the big Johnny reveal, I think they wanted the audience to feel, how the fuck did this happen? How did we get here? So they give us the end.
Let's see who else is here real quick.
We got Buffy.
Oh, Buffy's here. Hi, Buffy. Hey, Buff.
And of course, we got BRT as usual.
We said hi to BRT. We said, hey, B, what up?
What up? But yeah, Savannah's in the house.
Hey, Nana.
In the asylum.
Welcome to the asylum that is your mother's house.
Mhm.
She knows all too well. She has created a lot of it.
I'm frustrated. My family never shows up. Everybody else's
Hey,
family.
mine never does. This is the first time mine has, so I'm excited. I'm super stoked.
Yep.
My family never shows up. I'm like,
Everybody
Mine-
show much love to my
This started
baby.
being a bad time for mine.
oh.
So, anyway, so what I was saying is, I think that they wanted the episode to be about how Johnny got to be living in there. So the whole
Totally, because we see that and we see that later, but we see, you know, like even when he's telling the psychiatrist, we see how we go back to Teresa now when he found Teresa and Leo in the old Briarcliff Asylum, you know, in present day, and we see him trying to skin her and him in a flashback, which would have been more recent for him, but you know, telling her how he couldn't live up to his father's work and he wasn't good enough.
He didn't have the medical training to do it.
Because he says, "Do you think I should do it?" And she says, "Turn yourself in." Yes. He says, "No, go to medical school. I'll never live up to him."
Dylan's really good in this.
This twisted fool.
Yeah, Dylan's really good.
Yeah.
He plays Johnny so well, when we get into a future episode with Johnny and his little sexual kinks, that's
Oh my God, that's so freaky.
that's next
I
episode.
know.
We'll get there.
Yeah. We'll get there. I think
where's the departure from?
I think that's the next episode that we get that.
I think that might be next episode.
Yeah, this just really shows Dylan's range.
Buffy said you're older than I thought. Yes, everybody. I have a 20-year-old daughter, and then I have a 4-month-old daughter, and a few in between. Only two in between. So there's 4. Yeah.
4 total.
She's the devil. I love you. She's outside my window. She came to see her dog. It's her dog's birthday.
Aw. Hi, Savannah.
Okay, so.
Okay.
That's
Sorry,
the opening.
I realize that's going to be loud later. I apologize, guys.
The opening is just Johnny. We find out who he is, and then we go into the credits. After we see a little,
he reveals. He says, "My real name's not Morgan. It's Thredson."
And then it goes to the credits, and then we go to.
And it was quick to the credits again.
Yep.
Yeah, straight to the credits. Yep. And then who's next? Lana is next, and she is in with Eunice, and she's pregnant.
Notice how Sister Mary Eunice is now acting just like Jude.
Oh, worse.
She even tells her, she says, "You're worse than Jude. You're a sadist." And you see the kind of this slight grin on her face.
I know. She's got that little,
like, oh, you know, the devil.
Got that little gleam in her eye, and you're just like, oh, you're so twisted.
Yeah, this is my favorite. This is my favorite satanic Eunice right here.
I will be right back, though. I have to. I don't get this often. I have to.
Okay, go.
I'll be right back.
Huh?
Okay.
Keep going. I'll be right back.
Okay.
When Eunice is this real calm demeanor and just delivering the lines real methodically, I think Lily Rabe is just the best right here. It's evil, but it's almost enticing at the same time. It's really
because basically the nurse brings her into
anyway, so she's Lana Fajr can't keep the baby, and Eunice is like, "Oh no, you're gonna keep this baby. Babies are born all the time in mental institutions, and we're gonna give it up." And so Lana's pretty distraught about the whole thing, and she's gonna come up with a plan to figure that out. So she leaves Eunice's office without getting in any more trouble. And then we go to what the hell? The next it should be Jude. Right into Jude. Let me see here. Where we're at. Okay, yes, right in Jude. We're like, Jude's caught. Jude's caught in the bed. She's got the apparatus on her head to do some lobotomies and to keep it's everything's just crazy. You're looking at all this crazy scientific crazy.
Well, first we have everybody telling the cops kind of.
No, that's in the scene. Yeah,
that's in the scene, but they're all sitting there basically saying what happened. That Sister Jude lost her mind and she lashed out.
pieces of the truth that sound so ludicrous. That's what I found is so neat the way this is constructed. Most of it is true,
Yeah,
except for the fact of
but
the
they
killing,
changed the people.
and everything is twisted enough. It sounds ridiculous enough to make
Yeah.
Jude go crazy, and they believe it, and they are resigned to commit her for the rest of her days here in Briarcliff. And Timothy's in the room, and he's telling Jude this, and he's telling Jude what happened and who did what, and then we're seeing it relived. We see how Frank is put, or Lee is put front center stage to confess his sins and repent, and he says he can never be forgiven, but those angels in heaven that he put there, one day he'll come face to face with them, and just thick nonsense.
He laid it on pretty thick.
Yeah, really, really thick. And then, but the Eunice, Arden, and the Mother Superior, their pieces, their testimony that they give is all true. It's all.
Oh, I know it is.
That you did, but it sounds so ludicrous to anybody that doesn't know exactly what's going on. And Jude is committed, and here we go. Now we're going to start on the Jude wrongfully imprisoned at Briarcliff story. Kind of on the of what she's done. She's even going to come face to face with Lana later in the episode to say, "I realized what I did. You can't forgive me, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all of this." So
yeah, because basically she's basically stripped of all of her titles.
Yep.
She has to go back to her original name, which is Judy Martin.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Monsignor, I still don't like him. I never will. He says that maybe you're not up for a visitor, and he ends up bringing in Lee Emerson in.
Yeah, does he do that right here? I think it's a little bit.
Yeah, as he's talking to Jude when she's still, because she was freaking out with the other sisters, and they almost had to sedate her, and he had to stop them and say, "Let me handle it."
Yeah, that's in the next Jude scene. We first cut to the kitchen, and this is where we find Lana's in the kitchen working on the bread, and this is when we're going to get her crafting a plan. You see her crafting a plan. It's a real quick scene. You just see her methodically crafting, and then we go to Timothy's office where they got Jude's stuff packed up, and this is where he sees the red lingerie and all of Jude's personal effects, and he realizes that there was some. I think there was some lust in him. There was something that he was.
Yeah.
Lingerie. And he's like all sniffing it, and then Eunice comes in. And he's like, oh.
Yeah, has to act like I wasn't touching it. I'm good. That kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So then Eunice tells him something right here, but I don't remember. Okay, then we go back to Lana. Lana is being escorted back to her room, and this is where we see that she's got the coat hanger. Name of the episode.
Yeah.
We realize Lana's going to do something with this coat hanger. We don't know what yet, and it will all be revealed of what she's trying in, and how it's told is very strange because I want to comment on that. But it's used in a couple different ways in this episode. That the old wire hangers that we're used to. Then it goes back to Jude, and here we are with the nuns trying to sedate her or calm her, and she wants to pills, and she's going crazy. And then Timothy comes in and brings in Lee, and this is
one of the best scenes.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's an extension of what Lee was testifying to. When he was testifying, he was saying that he put these 18 people in heaven, and therefore he feels when he meets them in heaven, he might have a chance of forgiveness or redemption or whatever. But he looks at them as lost souls that he put there, and it would take some instances for him to be forgiven. But he forgives Jude in this sense. When he comes in the room, Jude thinks she's going to be hurt by Lee, and she's like freaking out. And he brings on that whole angelic, I forgive you, and he shows his hands, the sign of forgiveness. And Jude's like, Jessica's face is just like, I don't get it. She's like, I don't understand what's going on here.
And she's stuck in the bed because she's restrained and she can't do anything. So she basically just has to lay there and take it.
Goes from fear to this utter confusion. Just this.
Yeah.
What? And Lee, you could see, especially if you know what's coming up, but you could see the wheels and the crafting and manipulation all just going on behind his eye. I mean, he is so brilliant to just plot this whole sinister thing through this whole angelic person. And I don't know why Jude's the only one not buying it, and Jude's absolutely right for not buying it because it's so thick. It's so just over the top that Timothy for buying this mess later in the episode, he's a damn fool because
well, he gets hit
hearing this mess and how he's talking is just like, come on, can't you hear it in his voice? He's just laying it on just to put on a show. So he does that, and that's that scene for the. Then we jump to, I think we're going back to Lana, I believe. Just want to get this in order. Oh wait, we get. Oh wait, really important. I missed it. We get the flashback here. This is where we get to see that when he's telling Jude, "I forgive you for what you did to me," and she's like, "From what I did to you," and then then we go to the flashback, and sure shit enough, we see he's got right to be. We talked about this the other day. Yeah. He's got the right to be feeling a certain way about her. Again, we mentioned this a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Regardless of anything on the outside, regardless on any of the aspects of what they did to other people, their relationship really, Jude is the antagonist in their relationship at this point. So for him to come in and leave all that other crap behind and say, "I forgive you," even though it's put on really thick and really fake, he's got reason to say that to her specifically. And then we get to see that. We get to see how Jude was back in the day when he came in, and she was ruthless, just absolutely brutal and ruthless to him as a patient when he first came in. And he's not the only one. So you get a sense of who Jude was during that time, and that Jude had really
I know. She was almost heartless. She was almost heartless in a way.
Yeah, she found that persona to be that way. I probably to deal with her own shit, her own loss, and her own what she did to that girl, and to harden herself, built up a lot of walls around, and the hard persona and the discipline and the toughness all comes from building that walls, from shutting yourself off from everybody. So we got to see that, and so it was an interesting dichotomy when we're seeing her laying in the bed and him telling the story to her. You're like, well, shit, yeah, okay, she was a bit cruel to him, but he's a madman.
Well, he's a madman, and he's putting on a show, basically not only for her, but he's also doing it for Timothy as well, because he wants to come across as someone who's repenting.
Mm-hmm. And then we have the funniest scene. Right after this is so hilarious. It's Lana comes into Kit. Kit's laying in the bed. He's like keeps taking out his IV and putting it.
I know it's not. He doesn't have it in his arm anymore. He just has to.
And Lana is she's sneaks in. She comes around the curtain. She's like, "You're here. You're here." It's like a Saturday afternoon. Oh my God, you're here! It's so funny. Let's put the plot together. Here we go. They're just cute together. So they're like, "What are you doing here? What are you doing here?" "Oh, well, I'm here." So they figure out that.
No, because she shows up and basically says to Kid again that
we have
to kill him. We have to kill him.
And this shit's going down. Then no, we're gonna kill him. And Kid's like, "No, I told you, man.
We can't do that. We can't do it because he's my only link to not hit the electric chair."
So we get a plan C. We had a plan A. Plan A was kill him. No. Plan B was, okay, no, we're going to keep him alive. We're going to make him testify. Plan C now is we get him to confess here.
Yeah.
And then we can kill him. I don't care. But we need the confession before we do anything. And that's Plan C. That's the most important plan now. And that's what they're developing right here.
That Lana came up with when she gets in there and talks to him. And she shows him the paper and basically says, "It's the ultimate cosmic joke. You got me pregnant." And of course he's, flabbergasted and excited over the fact that he's going to be a father. And she's just like, "No,
we're not there yet. We're not there. We'll get there. That's some good Zach stuff. That's some good stuff." But we cut to Arden really quickly, and this is important because this is what's going to develop into Arden's story in a little bit. But Arden's walking down the little corridors, the tunnel type corridors, and he's looking on the floor and he sees the footprints. He sees the alien footprints. And this is where it finally just, from the little thing in Kit's head and all the stuff that he's gone through, now he sees the actual evidence on the floor from inside Briarcliff that he's like, they were here.
Yeah.
And now he's in his weird Nazi way from what he used to do with experimenting and stuff. He's starting to make the connections of what is going on. and how he comes to that conclusion is sick enough to think of, but he does. We'll find out later in the episode. But this is the proof that he needed. He had enough speculation, but now that he's seen the footprints that could not have existed, they're not part of the Raspers, they're not part of human feet, they're alien feet, and they're there. He now realizes everything that's going on.
Because before he saw where the lights and everything, he didn't see. He kind of saw a glimpse, but we didn't actually get to see that. So now he has the proof because he has the footprint.
And this was enough for him. And now, what's interesting about finding that footprint was the fact that when he finally realizes it and finally is okay with the fact that he's accepting this and this is really going on, he's bothered by it. It really changes him really, really quickly in the fact that he's not this hard, stern, callous, cold-hearted person anymore. He's now a person of confusion, a person of question, no longer a person of judgment. And because he's not in control of that situation, it sincerely bothers him, and we'll see that in a little bit. That he has to somehow find control in this, and he has to regain his sense of the science over the myth that he doesn't understand. So it's an interesting character development on him.
So then we go to Lana and Thredson in the closet or wherever he's being held, and that's when she shows him the paper of the fact that she's pregnant and that he got her pregnant and it's the ultimate cosmic joke, and he's actually excited. He's like, I'm going to be a father, and she said, "Oh no, you're not going to be a father." And so she basically says, "No, I'm going to get rid of it." And he's like, "No, you can't give it up. You need to keep him. You owe me this much." And I'm just like, she doesn't owe you shit.
Mm-hmm. Debbie's in the house. Debbie's in the house. So this is a great scene for Lana. This is it's almost, to me watching it, it's almost a little, for anybody except for Lana Winters, for any regular female that's been put in this situation, that any person that's been manipulated like this, the bravery that she ensues just out of this malice, just out of this hate for this guy, is almost unbelievable. But for Lana, she gets so calculated that we learn later that this becomes her personality, that it's very, very much believable for her. She's able to shut everything else off and just focus on the hand. And right now, the hand, she wants to taunt the hell out of him. She wants to manipulate him now.
She do it because he's like, I can change. I can change. I can do this. And
as soon as she saw that face and that glimpse in his eye when he's like, "I'm going to be a father," she's like, "I got you by the balls now." And here's where her problem is she got too cocky about all this, and her plan to kill him later doesn't fall through, and then all hell breaks loose. But but she, right now in this instance, she knows she's in control of this situation, of this instance.
Right now, but
she's reveling in it. She's absolutely so she so she goes through the story about how she used the coat hanger to abort this baby because it already happened earlier. Now, the way it was told originally, I thought, is she lying to him and we're just kind of seeing what could have been? But then they say later that it didn't. That she talked to Eunice and said it didn't work. So I'm not quite sure.
Because apparently she did it earlier.
Yeah.
But we see it in flashbacks.
Yeah, it's just strange the way it was presented because she's fine, for going through that and doing that to herself. She seems absolutely fine. So I had questioned, had she done it or she's just lying to him at this point.
Right. I mean, because she was like, no, it's done. It started as a trickle and then it was like a bloodbath. It was a bloody mess. And he's like, "You're a monster. How could you kill an innocent child?" And
so all that. She uses this. Yeah. So she uses his freak out to get the commission because she thinks she can bargain with him now. She's like, "All right, let's hold off on the baby talk for a second. What about so and so? What was her name? I forget their names." And so she starts going through the victims, and he's telling her, he's like, "Well,
for her, it's like, why did you choose her?"
And he's like, "I liked her skin." Like, "Okay, Silence of the Lamb." And then he goes into the second one, and the second one says, it bothered him because he liked her and she
He
kept
liked
talking
her
to
because
him.
her skin looked fuzzy like a peach, and he wanted to touch it or something like that.
Uh-huh.
That was basically what he said. And then she asked about Wendy, and that's when he heard Kit playing the recording back.
Yeah, it was weird. I was like, what's wrong with the sound? It freaked me out on the TV.
Yeah,
but yes, so
Kit
he
started playing the recording back, and he's like, I think we got it. And then he just freaked out.
And I laughed at that again because it's almost like here we are back in the Kit and Lana adventure. He pops up out of the thing. We got it. It's really
we got it. Yep. And he's freaking out because
yeah, I agree, BRT. It just confused me when she was telling it, but that's what. Yeah, I think because of when she was stabbing the pillow and stuff.
Yeah.
Was before. Yeah. It's just she seems so fine. So
fine. Because remember, she was in the bakery trying to get a knife. Remember, because she originally said that I could just as easily come back here and slit your throat and everything would be.
Yeah, it just seems so. Done. I guess for my mind to put it together, I was like, she seems so fine. If she would have done that to herself, she would, maybe cause infection. Maybe it would have been terrible.
Normally, when you do that, if you run the risk of definitely causing an infection, and making yourself almost die. But she.
So he tells her about Wendy, and he says he's
starting to tell her. All he says is she never loved you. She just locked you away, and that's when he played back the tape. So we didn't get to hear any more story on that one. So I was like kind of disappointed in a way. I'm like, yeah, we kind of know what happened, but I kind of wanted him to tell the story. But we never got the story because Kit had to pop up and go, I think we got it. Yep. It's like
now we have the tape. Now the tape is going to be this object that is hunted after. It's like our new heist show. From here through I think the finale actually. It's going to be who can find the tape. Kid hides it under the bathroom in bathtub in that bathroom
in the hydrotherapy room. Yeah,
correct. And then Arden comes in. Well, first of all, I was like, oh, you two give me stress. Lana tells him go hide it, and Kit runs off, leaving Lana there alone. And I was like, good Lord, you two couldn't stay together for 5 minutes and come out together just in case this fool tries to do something. No, you're gonna separate yourself again. Lord, no. But Lana gets out of this scene okay. And Kit goes off, hides it, but right when he's hiding the tape, there's Arden. And now we get to see this mess with Arden. I think they played out with the aliens, and it's
because
like I said, it's a very big change for Arden. And he tells Kit, I believe. He's like, no, right? This doesn't play out yet. He tells Kit, I need to see you. We need to talk.
Because we need to talk.
They go and they leave to go to the office, and then we'll be back to them in a little bit.
But before they leave the hydrotherapy room, you see this look on Arden's face, like he's kind of looking around trying to figure out what Kit was trying to do, but then they kind of left it.
Yeah. So they did go straight to the office. They're sharing a drink, and this is where Kit's like, I ain't drinking your mess. No, you're not poisoning me or putting me in.
And then Arden proceeds to say, well, I believe you. The aliens took Grace. They took her body while I was trying to dispose of it.
Yeah. And he's like, here's the footprint. I know it. I see it. I'm not lying to you. I believe it.
And then he shows the footprint. So now Kit's like, okay. And he's like, well, this is what we need to do. And he had asked, he goes, did you have relations with your wife before she died? And he said, I almost forgot about that. But yes, he did. And he said, well, and you also had relations with Grace, right? And so he comes up with the plan to basically kill Kit.
Well, he says he puts the pieces together. Yeah, he puts the pieces together. He says, the aliens are experimenting on these women. And they're experimenting on these women because you had sex with you fertilized them right prior to them being taken. And so you're the important one. You're the one that they're protecting. So if I kill you, we're going to get to see them.
Yeah.
And so, yes, it's a
they'll come back to reverse the process of what I'm trying to do. And he says, okay. And
Why he goes for this is
yeah, and then he takes one big giant drink.
Drink up.
Drink up that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where Arden has him on the table.
Not yet. I think that he just drinks up, and then we cut away. Yeah, we cut away. We go to Lana getting caught in the bread room, the kitchen, trying to steal a knife, and he takes the orderly takes the knife away from her. And Lana's like, "Fuck, what am I gonna do?" So then she
ends up going
out that hanger. She's gonna make a stabbing with.
Because she still has the hanger, but it's in her room, and basically she goes back to her room, and so she's trying to figure out if the hanger's sharp enough to slit his throat. So that's why she's stabbing the pillow to find out how sharp it is.
Yep.
Right.
And then we go to Timothy and Lee. And this is a big, huge event that happens with Timothy and Lee in the church. And Timothy, I guess, apparently had let Lee go confess or go pray or go whatever. But,
he was under the impression that Lee wanted to be forgiven, and basically he wanted to be baptized and all that.
Well, and Timothy, both of these fuckers are sick at this point. They're both crazy because Timothy is using this completely for his own success. He's gonna, win the Nobel Prize or something like this for mental health, and how he's used Christ to change it, and he was the founder of this whole program, and he's gonna do all this, and it has nothing to do with what's his face at all. It's
he just wants to be Pope. That's all he cares about.
That's simply
he cares about his damn self and his rise in the church. Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, correct. It's specifically his success. And then Lee is here that he's going to manipulate this mess to where he's going to figure out exactly how he can get out of this situation, either escape or whatever. And we see all hell break loose, because basically we see that Timothy is going to perform the baptism on him, and during the baptism, right when he does the acceptance of the prayer, Timothy turns to him and Lee takes him underneath and ducks him in, and then we cut away. So we know that Lee's gotten a hold of Timothy.
Obviously take the shackles and everything off of him, so he's totally free at this point.
Yeah, exactly. He's like,
bad mistake, big mistake.
Very big.
Thank
you, B. B said welcome back. Thank you.
So then we're going to cut back to that in a minute when they find him. But we don't know what quite has happened to him yet. We just know that he's caught. We just know that Lee's going to do something sinister to his ass. And then we cut back to Lana, and Lana is doing the hanger mess. She's going to use that to cut Timothy's throat. And then there's a quick flash, I believe, to Johnny at this point, which is weird. It was a really weird placement of a flashback. It just like popped up out of nowhere, and then it pops right back to Briarcliff. It was weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, right here. Yeah, this is the scene where we go into that office, that same office that we opened up with where Johnny was there having the therapy.
The psychiatrist.
Yeah, and the psychiatrist is killed, and the secretary or whatever finds her.
No, that wasn't a secretary. It was one of her patients.
It was a patient coming in.
And then Johnny comes out of the back. Johnny's standing there all bloody and everything, and she screams. And then we come back to Briarcliff. It's like, why was that placed there?
That was so
bizarre. It wasn't the asylum.
Michael. Hey, bit of advice. Take a breath. You are worked up right now, baby.
This is exciting. It's really exciting. So
I'm like, breathe. You're not catching your breath.
Oh, that's the theatrics, girl.
I was bad.
I'm always like this. The hell's wrong with this dog? So, all right. Now we go to Jude in the Malekiliki-Laka.
Where she's in the day room now. All fucking fucked up in the head and twerked out crazy style.
Yeah. And this is where she tries to give her apology to Lana. Yeah.
She's like, and the only thing is like, give me a cigarette, I've earned it. And I'm just like,
she just looks at her and she's like, give me a cigarette, god damn it, I've earned it. And you're like, oh shit, did you hear what she said? Did you hear that? Well, she earned a cigarette and she said, god damn it, give that woman a cigarette.
Well, there's a couple things with Jude here that I really like is number one, she's like, fuck it, give me a cigarette, I earned it, I'm in. And then she sits down, and then she hears that damn song playing. She's like, nope. She
Yeah,
gets
she
up,
walks over
across
and
the room,
breaks the record.
breaks the record, and then she
Like,
takes
I'm gonna-
Which people have been waiting years and years in that room to do. Oh my God. So it's not even fair that Jude gets to be the one to do it.
Yeah.
I know, and the way she said it, she's like, and I'm going to be the one that makes the changes around here. There's some changes that are going to be made, and I'm the one that's going to do it. And she walks up, grabs the record, and shatters it right then and there.
And then what happens? Because
And
it's like,
everybody
you thought you had the power. Guess what? You know Mary Eunice is here still.
Yep. But for the time being, that's like the happy thing, because they're all applauding her for doing that.
Well, because think about it, you guys. They talk about psychological warfare, and they've used songs to literally, like, they do it to this day to get people out of houses and standoffs and things like that. I know for a fact one of the big songs that SWAT teams and whatever they like to use is the Barney theme song, the I Love You, You Love Me. That one, literally, they will play it for hours and hours over and over, loud as hell at this residence or whatever, until the people come out. They use it in war too. They use it in war with certain certain songs and things. And it really does a lot of psychological damage to someone to hear the same exact song played over and over, and especially certain rhythms or melodies, but especially over and over again. And you can only imagine how over time that record, it's a record, so they warp over time after being played so many times, which warps the tone of the song. And so it would sound more, and, it would sound creepier and more messing with your head.
Buffy did ask.
I guarantee you that's not what that sounded like when it first started.
Buffy asked about the cigarettes, where they got the cigarettes from. I'm not sure about this time period, but
but even nowadays in jail and even in
it's like that. That's exactly what it's
like. You can get cigarettes and stuff. Well, jail, they only let them have the e-cigarettes right now, but now with them banning all of those, they're probably going to go back to the regular cigarettes.
When I worked in psych, there was cigarettes where nicotine was a big part of schizophrenia. It's a huge part. It's not just a behavior thing. They say there's something that's associated with the disease and the craving for nicotine. And they just like jail, or they had a commissary. Every week they had a certain amount of money that was put on their books, and they were able to buy from the supply store.
And then not to mention, remember where we're at right now. We're in the 60s, so it's a lot easier to get things. They probably had a cigarette machine in the asylum. You guys remember you put your quarters in, you just pulled the thing up. Even when I was still a kid, those were around, so I know they had them back then. The little pull machines, get your cigarettes. But even still, orderlies could have had them. See, I could have swore I saw a ciggy machine in the day room earlier this season, but I'm not positive. And I know the jukebox is there later, but there might have been a cigarette machine. There might have been. And if there wasn't, there might have been one in the lobby area of the asylum, like for staff and things. So staff would probably bring cigarettes to people and things like that. And
it's also a huge bargaining tool. It's part of their culture. It's part of the commodities of, you have a cigarette, I'll do this for you. It's a huge thing. So, cigarettes are just a way of life in mental illness. And
a currency.
Yeah, exactly. It's a commodity that they trade with.
Yes, I agree with you, Debbie. My niece drove us crazy with the Barney song over and over.
It's funny. My oldest daughter that was here did the same thing to me. And I swore to God, when I was pregnant, I said, I'm never letting my daughter watch Barney. I'm never going to be part of Barney. Somebody bought her a box of Barney pull-ups or Barney diapers, and that was it. She wanted to know what it was. And my mom showed it to her, and from then on, like Barney all the time, 24/7, singing that song.
Haley, who you guys have all met, she was a Barney diehard. She just absolutely was obsessed with Barney. Every morning I would wake up, because I lived with my sister and Kaylee with our first few years. Every morning that child would wake up and Barney's on the TV. I love you.
Oh, God.
And it's so funny. We were just talking about it the other day because I was telling my husband about it. I'm like, watch Connor get into it. It's like the only song he doesn't know.
Is it still on?
I believe so. And if not, there's reruns at least.
Reruns. You can still find it.
What happened to Cackle Kangaroo? That's what I was in. 75 cent Marlboros in 1984. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when I started smoking.
I remember going to like the store with a note from my mom to get a pack of smokes for her, and they would just give it to me.
Yeah.
That was back when you could do that. And now
The
it's
local bar. And that was in the 90s, you guys. That was the early 90s.
Well, you just walk up to a cigarette machine. Just use it like a vending machine. Yeah.
Yep.
But we'd have to walk into the bar to get them, so they wouldn't let us just get them. So we'd give a note, and then they'd let us just go buy them.
Yeah.
BRT, it is not an awesome song.
Hey, you know what though? Listen, all right, silver lining. For the world where the state of the world is at right now, not just the nation, but the world, I think that song does kind of apply, right? Maybe we should have a little more love. So at least we'll say it's good for that. It's good.
That,
yeah, we need it. Everybody needs to take a breath. Everybody needs to relax.
Hey, look at the irony of Michael telling everybody to take a breath.
Well, I get excited about a TV show. I'm not going to get all hyped up about this violence mess that's going on out there.
So anyway, back to where we were at in the asylum. The song "Who Breaks the Record." Welcome to the asylum.
Didn't you?
You guys didn't even tell me my sign fell.
Everyone get copyright strike.
Okay.
I love you.
Everybody, group hug.
Group hug.
So then let's go back to this mess.
Okay.
So then, Jude tries to give Lana an apology, and that's kind of.
It was kind of. I like the way she did it, though.
Yeah. So this is interesting because this is the moment where Jude becomes our protagonist, where she used to be our antagonist. This is the role reversal. This is where we start cheering for Jude, and we start really, really rooting for her because she's taking control of the situation. Now she's on our side,
Yeah.
Because we're part of crazies.
Because she did apologize and say that, it was not only wrong of me, it was more immoral of me.
It's immoral.
To do that. So
it's so sad what happens to Jude. It's really sad.
I know.
It was sad, but it's also like karma, and it's like
Exactly.
it sucks. But if she would not go through this evolution we see of Jude throughout this season, I mean, if we saw a lot more of her prior to this season, we definitely would not have remorse for her whatsoever. But because we only get drops of it here and there, and then we start to see how bad other people are, it makes Jude seem like a saint.
Yeah,
so we start to feel bad for her, and then once we see redemption of her, it's like there's just this, like I said, this huge full circle that she comes is just an amazing metamorphosis.
Yeah, the way they unfold it is so neat because it's like, first off, she's
beautiful. It really is, actually. It's really beautiful.
Find out her backstory. Her backstory about this little girl, and she finds out she's alive, and she's like, oh my God. And then you're like, wow.
Well, and the fact that was her initial calling, and now that was what saved her calling.
Yep.
So many years later. So that was cool.
Okay, so where do we go after the
Arden? Arden
back with Arden now?
Arden.
Okay. So now we're back with kits on the table, and Arden injects
No. He stabs him.
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Very brutally.
Not yet. That's to bring him back.
No, he has to do that in order to kill him.
Yeah, and then he tells him that he can't give him any
can't give him any
anesthetic. That's what it was.
Right in his heart.
Yeah,
and that's bullshit. That's bullshit. He could have. It's Arden. He wants him to feel the pain. No, he wants him to feel the pain so that it calls the creatures.
Yeah,
he could have given an IV. He didn't have to put that in his heart like that.
Yeah, he didn't have to. So it was partly Arden, but it was also he wanted him to feel the pain. One, because he thrives on that. He lives on it. He feeds on it. But he also wanted these creatures to feed on Kit's pain.
Right.
Can we give Evan some props here for this physicality of the stuff that he does on this table? I mean, all the veins are just pulled in his neck.
You
And
can
he's
just see it, yeah. And
Yeah.
that's no
so
easy
good.
feat because I guarantee you he was tired as hell
How
after
many
that.
takes do they have to do? That's
Yeah.
a workout right there. It's crazy.
So basically, what he does, it actually brings the creatures back, because you see, you know, the
And Arden freaks out and falls on the floor.
What's up, mother?
Woo, Mother Supreme is in the house.
What's up?
Woo!
Girl, every time you're making bedtime at 6:30 apparently.
Mhm.
There's gotta be some clean sheets.
Right.
Oh, but we're glad you're here.
Keeping it clean and disinfected.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Welcome to this
All
house.
right.
But yeah, we're at where Arden then sees the creatures.
Yes. So the lights and everything are flickering, and you know, we see all the lights and everything, and he goes running down the hall and leaves Kit there on the table. You know, Kit's just laying there like nothing. And he goes running down the hall, and he opens up. By the time they leave, he opens up this room, and all of a sudden we see Pepper.
Turns around. What the fuck?
All of a sudden we see Pepper and we see Grace.
Uh-huh.
Oh damn, you guys! Pepper fell on the floor.
And she's like,
Aww.
the baby is coming. She's like all intellectual. The baby is coming. We have no time.
The baby is full term. It won't be long now.
And I was like, what the fuck? No.
And that's exactly what she said. And notice now, Pepper is talking like a normal person now.
Yes, absolutely intelligent.
Because of the
Grace is really almost alien. She's really angelic. She's really just there's a peace about her. There's no, you know, it's almost emotionless but full of emotion at the same time. If that makes sense. Really angelic.
Yes, I totally agree with you. I definitely do. It was the same.
All right.
Oh yeah, I read this, Deb. I agree with you. You're so right. These are two of the most beautiful scenes, I'm telling you. And like you said, beautiful, tragic.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which one I'd pick either.
I
know
know
what? Maybe the deathbed. Because if I had to pick, I would pick the deathbed. But it's hard between the two because they're both really good scenes.
Yeah.
Like that diner scene. Oh my God. These two veteran women going at it head to head like that. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And just so mild and elegant. It wasn't dramatic. It was, but it wasn't. And it was just like, but it was like perfect harmony. The back and forth and the way they communicated.
I also think Lana and Thredson's right before the rape, the whole manipulation and stuff in that room is brilliant too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a pretty good scene too.
But yeah, that whole scene right there where they bring Grace back and she's like all angelic and just
her skin looks great. Everything looks great.
She looks great.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
And you know what? I'll tell you guys, motherhood does some things to you. Pregnancy and motherhood does a lot of things to your body, but you do not come back that glowing and perfect. Obviously, these are aliens.
Yeah. I mean, and she comes back and the baby is basically full term, and that the baby's going to come anytime now.
Well, no,
the baby's
coming anytime. The baby's full term.
Yeah.
You never do get an explanation about how Pepper's involved.
And Debbie makes a great point, which we'll get into a little bit later. But she said she loves how Grace sees the aliens as heaven, and Alma sees them as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true because it's showing how two different people took the exact same experience
and saw
it two different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And they felt two complete different ways about it, which probably has a lot to do with your upbringing, what you already thought, and how you felt about things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just
remember you also got Grace.
I love that they did that though. I
You also
do.
got Grace, who has been through a lot more than Alma's been through in her life. She's had a mental break. She's gone through that
Well,
murder.
that we know of. We don't know as much about Alma's backstory. And
That's
we
true.
just, and I'm sure because of the 60s, Alma went through plenty
Sure.
being, a black woman.
But they
But
never.
I've also always kind of wondered, because you see it in their daughter later, but you see it in Alma, where she could be very light skinned and depending on where she's from, but she almost seems like she could be mixed with something.
And
Yeah.
she
She
also
seems like
really,
she's already lighter, which
the
if you're
beginning-
mixed, regardless of what you're mixed with, especially in the 60s, you were worse off than being just black.
but in the beginning, remember, she was very content with the way the world was in the beginning. She was trying to calm Kit down in the beginning. She's like, this.
Well, and I feel like, didn't they mention something about her coming from prominence, from money?
Yeah, I think so. She might have.
I don't
She seemed very.
When they're first, her and Kit are first talking and she wants to tell people.
No, he wants to tell people. She
Oh, that's
doesn't.
right. He wanted to. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, but she
But
seems
I
very
thought
content
maybe
with-
they said
with her life,
something about her coming from like a certain wealthy type of family or something.
No.
No. She's very content with the simplicity of their life. Just of the two of them, she seems very happy. Very just wants to stay in that little bubble. Whereas Grace is erupted in this chaos of a world.
Well, we're not there yet. So where are we at now? We see Grace.
So we see Grace, and Dr. Arden leans down and touches her stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Arden's just like, whoa, God, what's going on? And do we ever get a
freaking out because he thought she was dead?
Oh, I know.
Do we ever get a Pepper explanation? Ever?
We do.
Don't.
We do. She kind of explains.
Not really, not fully. No. No, I mean, we get a little bit of stuff talking that she's there to protect, but that's it. We don't get any other reason why they chose Pepper, why her specifically, other than maybe because she was seen as a simpleton.
Yeah.
Somebody who wouldn't fight them as much, somebody they could easily manipulate.
Or she's pure of heart.
Yeah, that too.
It was all about love. Yeah, it was interesting.
Possibly.
The only thing that Pepper really says is that you need to get her a room because, like, nobody knows she's back,
right?
Except for Arden. Arden's the only one that knows.
Well, because that's where she popped up at.
Yeah. And
now I'm curious though. Had Arden not done what he did to Kit, would Grace have showed up, or would she have just been up there having her baby? Because they eventually bring Alma back too. So would she have just been up there with the baby?
Yeah, I think she probably would have had it up there. Because doesn't Alma have it up there?
I don't know. I don't think we see. We just see Alma show up with a baby in her arms.
All we know is that Alma is in the house with a baby of her own.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Actually get to see her give birth or anything.
That's how we find out that Alma's back is when Kit walks in the house. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet, people. We're not there yet.
And we know we're not going to get the explanation on the aliens. It kind of just leaves us that you just take whatever. But we'll get there.
I want explanation on the aliens.
I
want it.
And let's see. Debbie said the aliens want her to watch Grace is all we know, that I think, and which you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see. BRT said, "Oh, Arden spoke good French, so he speaks fluent. So he speaks fluent English, French, and German. Genius, psycho."
Yeah.
The Nazis, man, they're super intelligent.
Yeah.
And then it says full term. So does that mean it's been 9 months since Kit was locked up? No.
Time is totally different. Time is totally different.
No, not at all. Because if you pay attention to kind of where we're going, they don't give you a specific time frame, but if you pay attention to like the holidays and stuff, it hasn't been 9 months.
No.
It hasn't been by far. And that's what we're supposed to purposely know, because we're supposed to know these aliens have this power and this thing. They brought Alma back from the dead, or so we thought, or they do, and just all this stuff, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it's definitely not been 9 months.
It's all about those kids.
I believe we have to go back because I think we skipped something because we missed the whole Lana and Arden, where she goes back to Arden and not Arden but Thredson, and he's no longer there, and she freaks out.
No, I think that's right here, right next. I think.
Yeah.
It's right after this kid scene. Yeah, she goes back and she's like, "I'm gonna get you to." She pulls the mattress back. What the fuck? He's gone.
Yeah, and he's not there. But she goes to the room, and all of a sudden, Sister Mary Eunice is there, and she's And she's
Like,
like,
you let him free.
What'd she say? Looking for something?
yeah, she's like, you let him free. Do you have any idea what you've done? And so on and so forth. And
she said, you let Bloody Face free. She specifically said that.
Yep.
Where she had just told her prior when she saw her in the office, that she was wrong about the rape and everything else. Because she's like, I've noticed you haven't said much since Threadson's been back and everything.
Yeah. And then she discovers that Lana still has the hanger in her hand.
Yeah. So giving that.
And so she takes it and she looks at it and she does that whole tisk 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 thing.
Well, and she tells her, you're too late. I already did it last night. And that's when she touches her stomach.
Yep.
And she says, oh no, that heart's still beating plentiful or nice and strong. And she says, oh, and by the way, it's a boy.
Yeah, it's like, woo.
Right there, because remember, Lana doesn't know about the possession. She doesn't know about the exorcism. She doesn't know about any of that.
She just thinks Eunice is another Jude.
She just thinks, right, Eunice is now taking over for Jude and being, this sadist, like she told her she was. But this is where she's starting to be like, wait, there's more going on with you than meets the eye. Right. Now, we don't ever truly find out if Lana really knows, though.
That's true. We don't really.
I don't think she does, because she's going to leave when Lana leaves.
And because, right, she does the expose, and not that she would necessarily mention that, but Lana's very much a factual, truth-based person, a very strong reporter woman. So that's something that you can't see or hold on to. Even if she's witnessing it herself and things happening, that's not something that I think she would report to other people because they wouldn't believe her and it would affect her credibility.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. So then we get the final
I don't think she ever knows.
No, I don't think she even thinks about it. I don't think if she heard tales, she probably just dismisses it and be like, I gotta focus on what I know and what I can
weird because it's like they interact, but it's a whole other storyline because they don't interact enough for her to know that it's the devil.
Right. And remember, Lana's saying
Kit too.
And remember, Lana's saying so. Anything that she hears of rumors,
the whole Lana Grace story. And then we have the separate Jude Eunice Arden story.
Yep.
Then we have just the Arden Kit alien story. Then we have, let's flash forward to Johnny Morgan in present time story.
It's a lot.
It's confusing as hell. Thank you very much.
It's a lot.
Oh my goodness. Even this episode, there was a lot.
I know.
A lot.
And then, so finally we get to the final scene
Crucifixion
of the episode.
Yep.
Yay!
You find out Timothy is crucified and he's alive.
The janitor goes in and you see the bucket.
Oh, y'all can't see me. I'm doing the pose.
Yeah, and you're doing the pose. And then all of a sudden you see Timothy up on the cross. And then you get to see Skaha.
Help me.
Yeah, you get to see
Skaha. The nun comes in. Or no, the altar boy. Wasn't it the altar boy?
No, it wasn't the altar boy.
No, it was the janitor.
It was a janitor.
Was it the janitor? Okay, that's what it was. Yeah.
And then all of
I just watched it too, like literally minutes before we went on. You think I'd remember?
All of a sudden, you see Skaha. She shows up.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
So we get to see Frances Conroy, who I just freaking adore her.
Oh, I think everybody does. Oh my God, Frances.
So she shows up.
Debbie's all about some Frances.
So
let's cover 6 feet under.
So she walks up to him and he says, he's looking at her and he says, help me. And then the only thing she says is, I'm here. And then it goes black after that.
Okay, you got to highlight Debbie's last comment real quick.
Hold on. There we go.
All right. So Sarah Paulson said in an interview that the number one AHS question she wants answered is whatever happened to Kit, and will we see more of the quote of the I quote vagina face aliens? Hashtag justice for Kit.
It's so frustrating with Apocalypse that they had such an opportunity.
And Debbie said Franny's her boo.
They had those 2 kids in Apocalypse that we could have gone back to that storyline.
It worked, but they didn't do it.
No.
Wait. Do you see B's comment? Let's highlight that.
Franny is Babu. Oh wait, no B's.
He said it's quotations. You could give me 1,000 guesses, and I'd never have guessed I'd be nailed to a cross in a loincloth today. Timothy Howard.
Yeah. You know, he got his due. I'm sorry.
Oh no! How long did y'all say? Aren't we at the end?
Huh?
No, we're good. You can keep going.
No, not this way. Wait. No, wrong way. Wait.
Who are you pointing to?
Where am I going?
Why
Who
are
are you pointing to?
Why are you pointing to Michael?
No, I'm trying to point that way. That's what I'm trying to do.
For what?
Children. No, my children are
Oh,
knocking.
children. Oh, we got to end.
That's right.
We made it to the end, y'all.
And they didn't.
Oh,
didn't
yay!
I'm
So,
Come on, you want to say bye to everybody?
oh wait, one today.
Hurry
We're
up.
back on Death Eaters. We're back on Death Eaters because it's evil. The Asylum's evil, and this one's
Michael's got to do. Hold on, Michael's got to
This is
do
about
one. Then you can say bye to everybody.
and reveal because we had truth and reveal of the episode, right?
Wait.
Wait, come on. This one is a little short one, and this is okay. Mad Eye Moody, but it's not him. It's the guy who was impersonating Mad Eye Moody in Goblet of Fire. Who was really a Death Eater.
Okay.
Bartimus Couch Jr. There we go.
Nice.
And also, speaking on Harry Potter, I saved this till the end. Buffy showed me this morning. If you're in the UK, or you can look, we can post a link if anybody's interested in his coin collector. The commemorative Harry Potter coin this year from the UK on sale for 99 pence, which is like $1.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw
they're
that.
beautiful.
I
May get one. But yes, there it is. Bartimus Couch Jr.
Nice.
Truth will be revealed.
Oh, no, wait.
And I'll show
Okay.
you Mad Eye Moody's real one. You'll see how similar they are. That
Yep.
he had this one very similar to Mad Eye Moody's, but they're the exact opposite. Mad Eye Moody's is huge, but this design. So it's neat. Very neat.
The best episode.
One of the best episodes of the season.
I
Wait,
feel
of Asylum. Wait, of Asylum or of our show?
no.
But both.
I feel that this was the most important
Yeah.
episode of the season.
No, it was. This was a pivotal episode for sure.
Now we're gonna get into some sick mess next episode with Johnny and the titties.
No,
Hey,
that's-
you thought the coat hanger was bad?
that's
Just
not
wait.
until- Is that? Oh, that might be next episode because
It is, I think.
next episode is
And that's how it opens. Is with
Ugh.
next episode is Name Gang.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Debbie,
name
you better
game.
make
Name
sure you
game's
come
next.
tomorrow.
Oh, I have a surprise
Your
for
name
everybody
ticket's on
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
We're gonna have a special guest tomorrow.
Who?
I'm not telling everybody yet.
Anyone?
I won't.
I can't tell you right now.
We're gonna do the name game. We're gonna do the name game tomorrow.
Surprise!
One of the best moments of American Horror history. The best moment.
All right, you guys, that's our show. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Everybody, remember, stay safe and be cool.
Yep.
Love you.
We will be back tomorrow. Bye, guys.
And wrap. No, we're not.